The market is moving along slow and steady. August is traditionally a pretty slow month. Families go on vacation. I know a lot of people are on vacation. Kids are getting ready to go back to school. Well-priced homes in good locations are selling in multiple offers, as long as they're priced well. The jobs report was far better than expected. Good news for the economy, but maybe not so good news for interest rates. They're kind of jumping around. Donahue, what do you see out there?
Yeah, they're jumping around, James. And I don't see clients really being that as sensitive, rate sensitive as they have been over the last several weeks, couple of months, when we originally saw the rate jump. We talked about this last week, a month and a half ago in June, we were in the sixes. We're now in the fives, which is really nice. And it's a nice delighter for a lot of those individuals who were buyers in the market back in June that got a little bit of the rate shock. So my advice to all of you, and this is what I'm doing with my buyers, is reach out to them. Some of them that were scared away from the six in front of that interest rate may be back and willing to be in the market. So there's a lot of opportunity out there as soon as people come back from vacation.
That's great. Well, thank you. That's good news. Interest rates are jumping around and they're a little bit lower than they were about 2 or 3 weeks ago. So we do have market data slides available to share, and we will make these available on the agent portal after the meeting. We have a new design for the market reports, and I'm going to show you just a few samples. If you look at this first slide here, this is the market share units sold, and this is just for the month of July. So we do have year to date, and this is one format, the pie graph. And then if you go to the next one, this is again, it's a different format of units sold. And the next one of RE/MAX is 122 units compared to Compass 103, Vista Sotheby's 60, so on and so forth. The next slide shows number of listings sold. So this is kind of, that's great. So moving on to the market, so you can go back, Michael. So this is supply and demand, this is inventory. We have seen that yellow line kind of flatten out. So we saw a real big spike when interest rates went up, inventory spiked. It's kind of tapered off. It's still significantly below where we need to be. If you look at the next slide, this is a prediction from Stephen Thomas on kind of what the inventory is going to do for the rest of the year. So there's two schools of thought. Some think in the fall there's a little bit more inventory. Stephen Thomas thinks we're going to see a dip in inventory, and then we're going to be right back at low inventory come January, February of next year. Next slide. This is the Southern California demand, and the demand is, it dropped off tremendously, and it flatlined, and it's spiked up a little bit. So we're up 2.5% in the last 2 weeks. But if you look at compared to last year, we're down 50% in demand from last year and 37% down from the average of the 3 years. So next slide. Southern California expected market time over, we were hovering around 25 to 30 days for the last 2 years. We're now at about 75 days on the market. And the next slide, I like this one. This is the percentage of properties that underwent a price reduction before they sold. And in a typical market, we see about 30%. Currently, we have about 34%, 34.8% of all properties that sell have experienced a price reduction. In LA County, it's a little bit lower at 31%. This is the leading economic indicator. This is a little insight as to this recession chit-chatter that we're talking about, but you can see the zero line, the black line, is anything above that, we're in pretty good shape. Anything below that indicates a recession. You can see every time it drops, we hit a recession. And if you just look at what's happened recently, we're seeing that both the leading economic indicator and the real GDP growth drop towards that line. So we'll wait and see. And then the last one, this is, again, I showed this last time. recession doesn't equal a housing crisis. So there's only been two. In the 90s, we saw housing drop when we hit a recession. And then in 2008, the financial crisis, we saw that again. This is a great graph to show buyers that might be a little bit hesitant on jumping into the market.